Just got a comment that I need to react to this song by Lady Gaga that was just performed on Jimmy Kimmel Live. I haven't reacted to much Lady Gaga so far on this channel. This will be my first time reacting to her solo stuff. I reacted to Die With a Smile, their live performance. Admittedly, I still haven't gone back to react to the studio version of that one yet, even though several of you have requested that. It's coming. I'll get to it. I've been really busy reacting. I've had a lot of other artists coming up and people clamoring for other artists, but it's still on my list, I promise. I've been so grateful for this journey. This has been now 4 months in. I've been teaching voice for 24 years, but 4 months ago I started reacting, and I'm so grateful. The channel's really been growing a lot. I even started a Patreon where we have some free community chats where it's really good vibes over there. Lots of people are sharing song ideas and things for me to react to. I also have an ambassador circle, which is like my inner circle. You can support the channel by signing up there. You get to really bend my ear on the next songs I should react to, as well as I have a little singers chat in there as well. So if you have questions as a singer, you can talk with me over there about singer questions and vocal technique, stuff like that. So come on over, sign up. Here's my Patreon. Let's jump right in and listen to this. I'm going to listen all the way through, give my impression, and then go back and break it down.
Her album Harlequin is out now. Here with the song Happy Mistake, Lady Gaga.
I'm acting in this play of comedy with tragic words. The audience was smiling, cheering on a scene absurd. I can try to hide behind the makeup, but the show must go on.
Goosebumps.
If I could fix the broken pieces, then I'd have a happy mistake. A lonely disposition, portraits of a strung-out girl. How would I get so addicted to the love of the whole world? I can try to hide behind the makeup, but the show must go on.
I'm in. Woo! Goosebumps.
My head is filled with broken mirrors, so many I can't look away. I'm in a bad way. If I could fix the broken pieces,
Lady Gaga. Oh my God. Wow. All right. So here's the thing. I watched this, I don't know, interview or something on Instagram. There was this young music critic or podcaster that was talking about how there's this new trend in music. There are people like Billie Eilish is who are just, they're a different breed of authentic artists that is different from the back in the day how there were a lot of musicians who were kind of churned out like pop star factories, you know, is just the same kind of music, same kind of artist. And now with the way that music is set up and the internet, and we all can have our own little fan bases, like there's a lot of authentic, vulnerable, raw artists coming up. Now, I wouldn't necessarily put Lady Gaga in that category of these like new emerging, raw, sort of visceral artists. But Lady Gaga is one of these big time artists who's also had that same level of authenticity and vulnerability that we think about nowadays in the scene that's coming up with like all these, you know, the Chapel Roans, the Billie Eilishes, all these like raw Ren, who's an artist from the UK that's been blowing my mind that I've been reacting to. If you haven't heard Ren yet, go check out my Ren and Friends playlist on my homepage. Mind-blowingly authentic and raw. So Lady Gaga singing this song here, like this was very raw. This was about like needing constant sort of approval from the crowd and things that are very common things, I think, that you would go through as a high-level person in the public eye for many, many years. Like these are like, this feels vulnerable. This feels authentic. And that's just my first listen. I haven't gotten into the depth of what the song is really about. I know there's layers to it because she's so brilliant with her songwriting. And I'll see if I can pick up a little bit more here on my next listen through. I'm going to go back and break down what she was doing. She did some amazing things vocally. She had some grit. She had high notes. She had intimate, low, introspective singing, brassing, huskiness. She had everything going on. We're going to go back and break that down. I'm not sure how much into like the song meaning interpretation I can get here because there's so much vocally I want to talk about. This was a killer song. Also, the hook of this song is really strong. Da. I've only heard it once and I've got that melody swimming in my head. So Lady Gaga, wow. I'm going to have to listen to more of this album. All right, let's go back and break it down a little bit. It almost started off and made me think about the song Hurt, the Johnny Cash version of Hurt, the Nine Inch Nails. I hurt myself today. It almost sounded a little bit like that, if any of you know that track in the beginning, especially because I was just working on it with one of my students last night in my studio. Listen to that. It's very similar. That part right there. I love the mood of this opening, though.
I'm acting in this play of comedy with tragic words.
So we're playing off of the Harlequin concept, you know, comedy and tragedy and Harlequin, and so clever already.
The audience was smiling, cheering on a scene absurd.
So here's what she's got going on vocally. I'm going to talk about it using my concept called the triangle. The top of the triangle, we have grit, yeah, like adding edge to the voice. On this side of the triangle, we've got our metal, our metallic element in the voice, bop, 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 the brassiness. Over here, yeah, we've got our windy element, which can be focused, ooh, or just airflow. So we've got compression, grit up here, brassy, metallic-y stuff, and then windy stuff over here. Where is her sound right now in relation to those elements? Okay, listen with me.
I can try to hide behind the makeup, but the show must go on.
So we hear some windiness in there, but we also hear a little metallic brassiness too. What we call that in singing is a mix. She's using a mix. She's mixing those elements together. You can be just completely brassy, bop, bop, and be belty and really strong, or you can be completely windy and husky, like Billie Eilish is a lot of the time, like the big Barbie song, for instance. The grit element, you're going to find that Lady Gaga messes around with that in this song. She's a little bit squeezy with her voice right now, which gives it that edge, that angst. That's the way that we make angst as a pop singer. She's got a little bit of that now, but later on, she gets into like some straight up like false chord compression on her high notes, which is what that edgy sound was. It's really good. We'll get to that in a second. But now let's listen for those elements. Listen for how she's mixing together the sort of brassiness and windiness in her voice, and this mid-lower part of her is singing right here.
Cheering on a scene absurd.
Hear that?
I can try to hide behind the makeup, but the show must go on.
She used a little vocal fry there at the start of that phrase. Listen to that. Right here.
I can try to.
That was vocal fry. There's two ways to add grit to the voice. Vocal fry is one. False chord activation is the other. I'll talk about that when we get to the cool high note.
Hide behind the makeup, but the show must go on.
Awesome melody. Oh, I love that melody.
Feel so crazy.
Ah! That is a hook. Oh, you know what it sounds a little bit like? It sounds a little Lana Del Rey-ish. Like almost like Shades of Cool or something, which I reacted to, by the way. Oh my God, that was a really cool song. That was one of my first reactions, actually. So that melody is gorgeous. It's very like throwback to like some like dreamy like 60s romance song or something. It's so, you know, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful sticky melody. Like she's so good at writing sticky hooks.
My head is filled with broken mirrors. So many I can't look away.
Look away. Hear that little squeeze of her voice there, that little compression she put on her tone?
Mirrors.
That's the squeeze.
So many I can't look away.
There's a little angst to the tone with that little squeeze of her voice. So she's mixing up there. Notice how she's using a little in the tone. That just adds this lo-fi accessibility, this like little fuzz, this little warmth to the tone. Sometimes you can do that in a way that make it more ringy and you focus the air. But she's letting the air come through her voice, which it's a beautiful, beautiful tone. Now, what a gorgeous, gorgeous hook to the chorus. I just can't get over that.
In a bad way.
Her pitch accuracy.
If I could fix the broken pieces, then I'd have a happy mistake.
Stay. Hear how she used that little vocal frying out of the phrase? Very cool. She's very good with grit.
A lonely disposition. Portraits of a strung out girl.
Notice we've got a little more energy now starting off this second verse. The first verse, it was a little more introspective, a little more reflective, a little less subglottic air pressure, a little less bite. Now we've got her body language has changed. There's a little more compression on her voice. There's a little more air pressure into her sound, a little more edge.
Lonely disposition. Portraits of a strung out girl.
She's really using those consonants. Portrait, did you hear that? Like she's getting more dramatic here.
Disposition. Portraits of a strung out girl.
Yeah, it's dramatic.
How'd I get so addicted
She's so expressive.
to the love of the whole world? I can try to hide behind the makeup, but the show must go on.
Before I talk about that, goosebumps, right? Notice how she's using her breathing to add angst and emotion in between phrases here.
Strung out girl. How'd I get so addicted to.
Do Do you hear these breaths she's taking? They're a part of the singing. You know, if you use your breath like that, it's an expressive thing. She's doing that right here. Now let's notice another little thing here. She sneaks a teeny little breath right before she bounces up to that high note. Let's listen for that. And then let's just admire that high note.
You're the love of the whole world. I can try to
Hear the breath?
hide behind the makeup, but the
Right there.
show must go on.
So she took that breath right before makeup, or was it after makeup? Anyway, you know, so she snuck that little breath so she had enough power for that top note. Notice that. You might, if you were singing along with her and like, oh, I love that song, I want to try it. It's so hard what she does on the high note. How does she do it? Like if you were practicing at home and working on it and you didn't sneak that breath, you're going to have a hard time. So keep that in mind, okay? Like she's very crafty. All right. And that high note was banging. That was killer. Ping, ringy, well placed. Her voice is so healthy and strong right now. I'm just so impressed by her everything. Like Lady Gaga is just such a monster. I have to hear that note one more time.
Hide behind the makeup, but the show must go on.
Yeah, the breath was before makeup. Ah, she had great belt technique. Ah, so good.
Feel so crazy.
Notice how now we're starting the chorus again, but this time she's using more chest voice. She's using more of that brassy metallic element thing I was talking about earlier. Before she was more windy up there and lighter. Now she's brassy and punchier. Same melody, same notes, but now she's doing it in a different way. The first time she does it in a brassy belt with a little bit of compression on it. Compression is where you cinch the pharynx, and that brings a little squeeze and creates an additional pressure buildup in the voice, which gives it that rock and roll pop edge. If you turn up the dial a little bit, it just makes your voice squeezy. If you turn it up a lot, it starts getting extra vibratory surfaces into the sound, which creates that distorted sound, which you hear on the second time she does the high note. Let's go back and listen to this chorus here. This was really good.
Behind the makeup, but the show must go on.
So that's belty and compressed, but not so compressed that we have gritty extra things vibrating in the tone yet.
Feel so crazy.
So on that note, she cinched a little more and brought her false vocal folds into the stream of air, and they started vibrating along with her vocal folds. Listen back to that note one more time. That's so good. Lady Gaga!
Feel so crazy.
Woo!
My head is filled with broken.
So good. So good. That's one of the million reasons why Lady Gaga is who she is. Her depth of tone, too. Look away. She has so much depth in her tone.
Then I'd have a happy mistake.
Lady Gaga has one of the most durable types of voices that I've ever heard. She has so much metal access in her tone. She can be so brassy, so punchy, and she just sounds like she has chords of steel. Other singers can't do that. Their voices kind of crumble or sort of can't handle that much pressure, and she just has such strong vocal cords. I love this bridge.
So brilliantly, it washed away the sad mistakes. I could hold my heart in a safe place.
Can you really call yourself a pop singer if you don't sing the hardest part of the song on your knees? I mean, come on.
All I need
Notice how she pulls off of her voice right here. Now she's getting back into the wind side of her voice. She's letting the air in. She's releasing it. Did you hear that little sort of dramatic breathing, almost like theatrical moment she had there getting up? That was so cool. This is such an amazing performance, too. She's on fire here. This is on Jimmy Kimmel. Like, what's happening? What is this set, too? She's like in like a field of grass. I've got it kind of small on my screen. What is happening here, Lady Gaga?
Is one happy mistake.
You hear that? Oh my God. She's still doing the breathing.
Happy mistake.
Oh my God. Her agility is so good too. Oh my God. That last moment where she's breathing and she's getting up and it's like this little expressive, emotional, dramatic thing. This was an amazing performance and a great song. I've been blown away by Lady Gaga so many times over the years. You'd think that I would go in listening to her expecting that. I get blown away every time. I'm like, let me hear the next Lady Gaga. And then I'm like, oh my God. She's a killer. God. That was really fun to react to. That made my morning. Thanks so much to you out there who recommended I react to this morning. It was actually this morning that it was recommended. So that was really fun. Thanks so much. If you like this, subscribe, click the notification. Also, if you like chatting with awesome people about songs and music and stuff like that, come join my Patreon. It's super fun. Come support my channel, become an ambassador, support your artists, support me. Love it. All right. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks so much for stopping by. Cheers.